What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another video on the channel. So today I am going to be discussing something that probably needed to be discussed a while back, pretty much since I've gone back home. But now I have the opportunity to do so. So you guys all remember that game, right? Warzone Mobile? The Call of Duty game on a mobile device that maybe in some other universe we are probably enjoying right now. Yeah, that game. Let's actually talk about, I guess, the overall state of the game as it is currently. So before I actually begin, I do want to thank you guys so much for helping me reach 10,000 subscribers. It's definitely one hell of a milestone. One I didn't think I was going to reach this fast, but yeah, anyways, thank you guys, and let's keep growing as a channel. But anyways, let's get back to the main topic. Warzone Mobile was the game that a lot of us originally thought was going to be the COD Mobile replacement. And unfortunately, over time, we kind of learned that it wasn't really the case. And a lot of us were kind of heartbroken with that. Of course, you guys remember back when, there were job listings that were needed for Warzone Mobile. Of course, we didn't know what the title of the game was. All we knew that it was coming to mobile, but a lot of us kind of already got the idea that it was going to be Warzone Mobile. We saw leaks about the game for a long time. I think we've seen a little bit of gameplay leaks right before the first ever COD Next event happened, alongside the introduction of Modern Warfare 2. And once the game actually came out, we saw a lot of mobile YouTubers such as Ferg, Bobby Plays, maybe Hawk's Nest, all play the game in that event. All of us were excited. We were very happy to see a game of that magnitude come to mobile. And, of course, at the time, the game didn't really look that great, and it was in its alpha stages. And we assumed that, once it fully got released, it was going to look way better than that. So I think in Australia, I think that's one of the first regions that was able to actually play the game in its beta stages. And over time, we saw updates that continuously had the game change graphics-wise as well as performance-wise. And it looks like it was on a pretty good track. At the time, a lot of phones were being supported by it. Obviously that's not the case now, but back in the day it was being supported by a lot of different phones, and not a lot of people complained about it. People because again, it was like a beta stage, so it wasn't really nothing to complain about. You would just assume that, well, I guess anyone would just assume that you just need more time for the game to be developed for it to actually run well. It really wasn't until the game was actually close to the release where we started to kind of get worried, because it still kind of looked like the game was unfinished. So we held on to this final hope that maybe in that last update right before the game comes out, that pre-launch update was actually going to fix the game entirely. And unfortunately, that didn't really happen. I mean, I did play the beta of the game, or I guess like the pre-release version of the game, like right before it came out. And yeah, it wasn't really functioning that well. There were issues with voice chat, connecting with your friends online, alongside all the other performance issues, graphical issues in Warzone itself. And yeah, a lot of people were actually not really happy about how the game released. But the devs were continuously communicating with all of us, saying that they're promising to fix a lot of the issues. And for a certain time, they actually were. They were listening to everything that we were saying, and they were fixing those issues. Whether it was an issue where your device was harder than Satan's ass, or other issues such as not being able to unlock a certain camo, they were fixing a lot of it. And some of the updates did actually work. My device was not actually, it was heating up a lot less. So we had stuff like that, but of course, now it doesn't seem to be the case. But overall, the game at least was kind of playable. I could, at least if you had a very strong device, if you had an M2 iPad, or if you had like an M4 iPad, or something along those lines, or maybe a very powerful Samsung type of phone, it functioned, decently. It was like tolerable. But I guess the quality of the game started to decline more and more as we got more updates. And right after Black Ops 6 came out, and we had to wait for all the Black Ops 6 content to drop in this game, which I assumed wasn't really going to happen immediately, but I'm surprised they actually added all those guns in the game and changed the game the way it is. Yeah, we weren't, like, the devs didn't really talk to us for a while. Really, I finished basic training like right before the update came out. So before the Black Ops 6 update came out for this game, I assumed that the game was a lot more optimized, but when I came in, it was kind of like shocking to see that everything still kind of felt the same. Keep in mind, I went in like very blindly. I was thinking like, wow, this game's probably going to be really good right now. But no, I go into the game, just frame stutters, all that stuff. It was just a mess. All the guns performed the same. They weren't really doing that well. And then we finally got the Black Ops 6 update, thinking that, you know, everything was going to be much better. The game was going to be a lot more optimized. And no, if anything, the game was a lot worse. The graphics quality dropped. Yes, the weapons for Black Ops 6 came out, but we couldn't grind for anything. Yes, we could progress through the levels, we could level up, but we couldn't prestige, we couldn't camo grind or anything. And even now, we still technically can't really camo grind. They finally added the camo grind, but they only did it for the Warzone camos, for like the Abyss camos. But they did nothing for Dark Matter or anything. And right when the BO6 update came out, we lost access to the camos from the other COD games, such as Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2. So basically, we were running the game with nothing on our guns. Not only that, we were facing issues where people couldn't log into the game. A lot of attachments weren't working. We couldn't put the sights in our guns anymore. It was just a complete mess. Eventually, the attachment glitches were fixed. You know, I can now actually use my Modern Warfare 3 guns with everything that I have, which is cool. And they also did give us our camos back with a catch. Basically, we cannot grind any further with the past weapons anymore. So if you have Interstellar or if you have Polyatomic or anything of the sort, yeah, you got them back. But if there's any weapon that you wanted to grind once the camo grind came back, you were basically shit out of luck, because now you can't actually camo grind anymore. And keep in mind, if you try to camo grind in the games where they came from, like Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2, it doesn't matter because they no longer cross progress anyways. Which honestly is kind of a shame, because they actually balanced a lot of the Modern Warfare 2 weapons pretty well. Like the marksman rifles back then, they were only like, you had to like 3-shot to the chest to even get a full kill with it, but now you could actually 1-shot pretty effectively. Like, I actually went ahead and leveled up all the Modern Warfare 2 guns in hopes that they would bring back the camo grind and I could just easily grind them all out. But no, they didn't do that. Yes, they brought back the camos, but they didn't bring the grind itself back. Hell, they didn't even bring back Orion. They only brought back all the Modern Warfare 2 camos up to Polyatomic, and that's it. Not that it matters anyways, because it basically just says unlock on PC, but you can't even do that because there's no cross progression anymore. So basically, it's just pointless. You can't do anything. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen a update with so much content and there's still nothing to do. I think that's one of the biggest issues with Warzone Mobile right now, other than game performance, because yeah, the game would run like shit, but at least you had something to do. But now the game runs like shit and now you have nothing to do. So it's just like a letdown all over. And yes, a lot of you guys are gonna say, well, why don't you grind for the Abyss camo? Yes, I could do that, but at the same time, the game is not running in a way that you could actually get Abyss anyways. Keep in mind, there's people having camo tracking issues in the first place, so even then, you probably still don't even have a chance to get Abyss completely. They still drop all the new stuff that comes out for Black Ops 6. That's cool and all, but again, you can't do anything with it. Like, yeah, you could unlock the attachments, but what's good about the weapon if you can't even get like decorated with a camo or anything? Unless you buy a blueprint from the store, but other than that, you can't really decorate it at all. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that there's no real point to play the game right now. And I was actually holding off on making this video for the Season 2 Reloaded update, and all the footage that you're seeing right now is before the Season 2 Reloaded update. And you can see the game is running decently fine for the most part, some stutters here and there. But the moment I even updated the game to Season 2 Reloaded, just everything went to shit. Like, the graphic settings that I was using no longer works. Everything is stuttering. I feel like I'm playing the game at 10 frames per second, no matter the settings. You could be on very low graphics, on uncapped frames. It just runs like shit completely. And with every update that comes out, whether it's an app update or just an in-game update, it's just like, it makes you wonder how they are just messing this up so much. Because, like, you know, they could add content in the game and somehow, for some reason, frame rates will drop out of nowhere. Like, I don't get how, like, there's just so many issues that don't need to be issues in the first place. And they even dropped support for a lot of different phones prior to some of these updates. So it's just like, how are you messing up so hard on this? Like, there's no excuse. And the thing is that we cannot keep relying on every season to come out hoping that it's going to be a perfect game. It's just not going to happen. And I'm sure you've seen people like Hunter Raffi or just any channel that has like that AI voiceover, like trying to give the game a chance, but it's just useless faith. Well, not useless faith, but just misguided faith. Thinking that, you know, there's still hope in the horizon, but it just doesn't seem to be the case anymore. The day that I lost faith in this game pretty much completely was when they said that they were bringing the camo grind for the Black Ops 6 weapons and just all the other weapons back. And then when that update happened, it was just a complete letdown. There's no dark matter grind. It's only the Abyss camo grind, and that's it. Like, that's when I completely lost faith in them, because I don't think anything is going to change at this point. I know I'm kind of being a little obsessive with the camo grind, or a little bit critical on that one. And the only reason why I am is because the multiplayer camo grind is basically the reason why we have multiplayer in the fucking first place. If there's no multiplayer grind, such as the dark matter grind, then there's no point in even having multiplayer at all. And multiplayer itself is not even that fun. I mean, yes, look, camo grinding with the bots that are currently in this game, I mean, the bots are really stupid. Like, they make like the bots in COD Mobile look like geniuses. They dumb down the bots pretty hard. I mean, like, they have to like shoot you like 40 times for you to even die in the first place. But, you know, you can't even take advantage of that. That's the whole point of me grinding doing the whole entire camo grind basically in this game, because I don't have to deal with like all the sweats in the main game. The real players aren't really that difficult to deal with. I mean, they're just as dumb as I am right now. I mean, I think most of the people that play multiplayer are kind of just clueless, or they're just trying out the game. But other than that, multiplayer there's just no point in having it there. And they removed all the good maps. Like, there's no shipment anymore. There's no rust anymore. So it's basically impossible to get long shots, even if there is a camo grind. So yeah, it's just a mess all over the place. And there's nothing to do, period. But look, I think my final chance with this game, I think for sure, will definitely be in the Season 3 update. If they don't have anything for that update, then I've just completely lost faith in them. But I don't blame them at the same time. I think from what I heard, they got laid off. A lot of them got laid off, so that's probably why the game isn't performing as well as it should, because they don't have enough developers to optimize it well. But it's not like they were even doing a good job in the first place. With or without the layoff, I think the game would still be pretty bad. But I would say if the layoff wasn't a thing, it probably would have performed a little bit better. But not the way that it is right now. It's just awful. But I'll be honest with you. I think like after that point, if there's nothing, I think the game should just be sunset. There's already people that believe it should be sunset. But I am still trying to be somewhat optimistic. But I think the last chance will be Season 3. If Season 3 doesn't provide anything, it's over. And it doesn't matter whether or not they actually provide anything within the next update. This game has already been tainted with how buggy it was. Whenever people think about this game, they're just going to say, well, it was a broken game. And even if, like, let's say they do improve it and they make this game nearly perfect, like nearly bug-free, it doesn't matter because everyone already thinks that this game is messed up. So if someone asks, hey, do you want to play Warzone Mobile with me? They're just going to be like, oh, why am I going to play that broken-ass game? And it's going to just... Not a lot of people are going to try it at all. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I've said this time and time again with other Call of Duty games in the past. First impressions are the most important thing that you could have for a COD game. If the game is good at launch, people are going to be more inclined to actually play the game. But if it just has a very shitty start, it's just not going to be good. Black Ops 6 actually had a pretty strong start, probably stronger than, most COD games nowadays. But of course, the hacker situation happened and, a lot less people are playing the game. Trust me, Black Ops 6 is not doing any better than Warzone Mobile right now. If anything, they're just as bad as each other. At least in that game, it runs well. But here, it just doesn't. So yeah, to be honest, I think this game at some point, probably within this year or at the end of the year, or even next year it might be sunset unless they do something about it. And even then, it's not guaranteed. I think they have already lost too many players. And to be honest, I think the devs know that. That's probably why they're not improving the game. Maybe they do have plans to make an announcement to sunset it, but they're not doing it for whatever reason. If anything, like these types of mechanics for Warzone, like at least the BR, should probably at least be transferred to COD Mobile or something, you know, have like those types of mechanics in COD Mobile rather than have it here. I said that from the very start, right before the game release. I said like all the guns from COD Mobile should have come here or something like that. I think that's what I said. But yeah, I mean, if we had COD Mobile mechanics in, or sorry, Warzone Mobile mechanics in COD Mobile, I think the Battle Royale would be a lot more interesting, knowing that there wouldn't be any glitches at all, let's be honest. But anyways, that's all I have to say right now for this topic. There will be more to follow once that Season 3 update comes out, whenever they decide to release it. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure to subscribe for some more, well, not really some more Warzone mobile content, but for some more COD mobile content. I'll see you guys next time.